sponsored by the Dagama Group.
Welcome to Rumbo Minero. My name is Jorge Leon Benavides, and together with Cesar Campos, we are going to develop the following program. How do you do?
Very well, Jorge. Welcoming you after this successful participation of Rumbo Minero in the PDAC in Toronto, Canada, about which we have a very interesting program. But I understand that you, as the head of Rumbo Minero, also have a very interesting program. I understand that you, as head of the Peruvian Canadian Chamber of Commerce, have had to gather a very valuable experience. You have had to gather a very valuable experience.
Cesar, yes, I have. In summary, what we can say is that Peru at that time, in the eyes of mining investors in the world, is very well regarded, is very well seen. We have many opportunities. Unfortunately, not as we would like them to be, because we have many opportunities, because today the countries, at least in Mexico, Colombia, Chile, Peru, Chilean, Mexico, Colombia, Chile, among other mining countries, have presidents that complicate the investment situation, and that makes them more interested in Peru. It is not only its geological diversity, but also the fact that there is not so much to choose from, because nowadays things are complicated in these countries due to ideological issues. The PDAC was also there, as was the Peruvian delegation, in the midst of an issue such as that of Otárola, the premier. It was very important for Prime Minister Otárola to be there, as he has been in the previous opportunity, supporting the delegation, supporting Peru at all times, but unfortunately he had to leave due to the political issues that we already know. We hope that Premier Adrian Sen will continue in this line of always supporting the PDAC, the mining events that are also held in Peru, in order to give an international image of a country that is an important destination for global mining investments.
That is what it is all about, that the government is also committed to its powerful private sector, especially in the mining sector, especially in the case of Peru with respect to mining. Mining sector.
And we are going to have PDAC specials, lots of interviews, ministers, deputy ministers, very important personalities. Do not miss it. This program is going to be very, very entertaining.
No doubt, Jorge, but first with Gabriela Chicoma herself, we are going to listen to the main mining news of the week.
Thank you, Jorge. These are the main mining news of the week.
The Chinese capital company MMG, which has operations in Peru, Australia, and Congo, achieved revenues of $1,347 million in 2023. 78% of this amount corresponded to its operation in Apurimac. Las Bambas recorded a significant recovery from the $2,087 million it reached in 2022 and closed the historic 2023 with $3,417 million. As announced at the PDAC 2024 World Mineral Exploration Convention, recently held in Canada, the Ministry of Energy and Mines presented the Portfolio of Mining Investment Projects 2024, made up of 51 mining projects that include an investment of $54,556 million, with the purpose of promoting and initiating mining activities such as exploitation or beneficiation in accordance with current regulations.
Many thanks to Gabriela Chicoma for the main mining news of the week. Well, now we are going to present the first part of the special. We are going to present the first part of the PDAC special. We are going to have, of course, Rómulo Mucho, Minister of Energy and Mines, José Arista, Minister of Economy and Finance, talking about all these mining investment issues. Victor Gobitz, President of the National Society of Mining, Petroleum and Energy. And Rohel Sanchez, Regional Governor of Arequipa. Please go ahead with this special.
Thank you, Jorge and Cesar, for the pass. We are here in Toronto, Canada, for a new version of PDAC 2024, exclusively for Rumbo Minero TV. We will present a very detailed report with all the details of this important mining investment event, with interviews to the main government representatives and leaders of the mining sector. Please go ahead with the report.
Peru had an outstanding presence at PDAC 2024, the most important mining convention in the world. which brought together more than 25,000 attendees from over 130 countries, including investors, analysts, executives, miners, geologists, and government officials. The Peruvian delegation that participated in the convention from March 3 to 6 in Canada was made up of some 300 people from the public and private sectors. The presidency of the Council of Ministers led the Peruvian delegation, as well as the Ministers of Energy and Mines Rómulo Mucho and of Economy and Finance José Arista, as well as the President of the Central Reserve Bank, Julio Velarde, and the Director of Business Investment Promotion of Promperu, Daniel Cordoba. Within the framework of the mining event, Peru Day was held, where it was highlighted that Peru has an enormous geological potential to be explored, and that it has a portfolio of 75 exploration projects with an investment of $647 million. Peru reiterated that it provides guarantees and promotes mining investment through legal stability and a favorable legal framework for investors. The Peruvian delegation was invited to ring the opening bell of the Toronto Stock Exchange.
This time we meet with Engineer Rómulo Mucho, Minister of Energy and Mines. Engineer, as you know, welcome to Rumbo Minero.
Thank you for the invitation. We have just finished the first stage of Peru Day.
Engineer, what are your reflections on your participation here at the Peru Day event in the framework of PDAC 2024?
We have come to continue promoting Peru as an exploration destination and also to promote Peruvian mining.
Engineer, you have presented today a portfolio of $103 billion for the next few years. What or how much is expected to be invested this year? We have a very ambitious goal.
It is a very ambitious goal. We want to exceed by far the investments made last year. To start the first half of the year, the first quarter, it is already practically programmed to authorize almost $3 billion of investments. We are off to a good start this year. Reposición Antamina is practically a reality. There are also other minor projects, as Yumpag, as exploration projects. I strongly believe that we are going to exceed this year's performance. This will depend a lot on teamwork and the support of other sectors such as agriculture, culture, environment, in the understanding that we have a government guideline that we have to reactivate the economy. And one of the engines to reactivate the economy is mining, and obviously doing things right, as I always say.
The important announcements you made on the subject of the possibility of moving forward with projects such as Tia Maria and Conga. How do you see the current outlook for moving forward with these projects?
I think that the Conga issue slipped in there. Conga is still much more medium-sized. The Tia Maria issue is different. It is practically a mature project with significant advances in social work. I think that people, apart from wanting or not wanting, is that people need work. We need that boosts the economy, because it uses services. And not only the direct jobs that will be needed for the construction, but also everything around, which adds up to 3, 4, 5, all the suppliers. I am sure that somehow that is going to help a lot, and it would also be the starting point to accelerate some projects or advance the execution of some of them.
Mr. Mucho, these days you have been able to meet with foreign investors. What has been the main request they have made to you in order to be able to go to Peru to invest? As we know,
the investor needs facilities. He needs, let's say, the necessary environment. What things does he want, in other words? He needs that the permits be expedited and the evaluation, the analysis of all the studies that he presents, and also the management of social conflict, so that if we do things right, Since we are not immersed in the application and also of all the standards which we are achieving at a national and international level, I believe that things will be for the better. The investors with whom we have had conversations have already been attended. We are going to continue with the meetings during the remaining days, and, well, I am sure that we will see the products or the results later on.
Engineer Rómulo, Mucho, thank you very much for your willingness towards Minero. Thank you very much. Congratulations. We met with the Minister of Economy and Finance, José Arista. Mr. Arista, how are you? Welcome to Heading to Minero.
Thank you very much, and greetings to the drivers.
What are your reflections on your presence here at this PDAC on this Peru Day?
Well, this is a showcase, the world's showcase for mining. Peru, as you know, is a mining country. And this is a very effective way of making the world, especially the big businessmen, aware of all the possibilities that Peru has to offer. That Peru offers.
Look, in the presentation, the control rigs representative said that Peru is in a privileged position compared to other Latin American countries. Do you share this opinion?
Well, it is privileged for several reasons, isn't it? In the first place, I would say, because of the natural resources that exist in Peru. Secondly, because it offers legal security. Thirdly, because of its economic strengths. And fourthly, because of its geographical location, right?
The idea is also that the different government portfolios work in a cohesive manner to move mining projects forward. The Ministry of Energy and Mines, the Ministry of Economy, the Ministry of Environment, etc.
Yes, this is a very important element that you just mentioned, because many times a ministry runs, but the papers are worked in some other ministry where there are officials, and I have to say that more loaded with ideology than with the reason granted by the law, right? And this should not happen.
Ministers, changing the subject a little bit, leaving the mining issue and entering the Petroperu issue, a new board of directors has been appointed. What is the future of this state-owned company?
Well, the future is that this board of directors is successful in trying to change the governance of the company so that it can put those numbers which today we see in the red back into the blue, right?
Finally, Minister, the issue of the recession we are experiencing, how is your portfolio going to work to get out of this as soon as possible?
No, we have some short-term, medium-term, and obviously more long-term measures, right? Among the short-term measures, obviously, there is the unblocking of all private investment, the unblocking of all public projects that are paralyzed. But what we also want is to give the Peruvians, the investors, the assurance that Peru will maintain, will respect its fiscal stability. It is not a country that is going to be over-indebted.
Minister José Arista, thank you very much for being on the way to Minero. No, on the contrary?
No, on the contrary, thanks to you, Miguel. Thank you very much.
We met with engineer Victor Gobitz, president of the National Society of Mining, Petroleum and Energy. Engineer, what conclusions and reflections did your participation in this year's PDAC leave you with?
Thank you for the question. The important thing I would like to highlight is the joint and coherent presence of the public sector and the private sector. We have seen the participation of the Prime Minister. We have seen the participation of the Minister of Economy and Finance. We have seen the participation of the Minister of Energy and Mines. We have seen the participation of the President of the Central Reserve Bank. And I must also highlight the presence of the Regional Governor of Arequipa. And the private sector obviously is a very important number that set and that unison and coherent message. And coherent message regarding mining investment is important to highlight.
Do you consider, engineer, that the conditions for foreign investors have improved in relation to last year?
I think so. Last year and this year is consolidating as a year of production recovery.
Would the importance of moving forward with a project such as Tia Maria be the best demonstration on the part of the government of its willingness to attract greater investments?
Also, without a doubt, because let's put it this way, it is emblematic. We cannot deny that the T. Maria project has had many difficulties. It has generated a lot of controversy, but the project has been socialized, it has been better understood, and it has a value proposal for the Tambo Valley, for the young people of the Tambo Valley that cannot be discarded.
Recently, some good news was also approved, the environmental impact study for Antamina's expansion. Tell us a little bit about what this expansion will consist of.
What is the expansion? Yes, it is good to specify that it is not an expansion, it is a life extension. The production level will not change, it will remain the same, but it is a life extension of the year. There has been no need to buy land, and obviously it is the same environmental footprint, and therefore it has been easier to evaluate. And finally, to highlight that there have been 3 citizen participations throughout this 4.5-year process.
Perfect, Engineer Gobitz. Thank you very much, as always, with your disposition for your course to Minero.
A pleasure, rather, to you. Best regards.
This time we met with Mr. Rohel Sanchez, the regional governor of Arequipa. Currently, what is your experience of being here at PDAC 2024, perhaps the most important mining investment event in the world?
Well, as we have been able to hear and see, the most important thing is that mining is increasingly incorporating technology, which is very valuable to be able to converge mining with other productive activities in our regions, as is the case, for example, in Peru, right?
How important is mining for Arequipa?
Well, Arequipa is a mining region. We have to promote, obviously, a responsible mining, a mining that also incorporates all these technologies that we have been able to hear, and in this way, then have the impulse of all the economic activities. Why not have, for example, an agriculture that is not only responsible, but that also incorporates all these technologies? Eco, as it should be, eco-friendly mining, green agriculture, agro-export, agro-industrial, and this is viable, totally linked to industry, linked to fishing, so there is an enormous potential in the Arequipa region.
There is a very important project in your region, which is the Tia Maria project. How do you see this project? Can you perhaps promote a dialogue between the mining company, the communities, the central government, and the regional government to be able to move forward with this project?
We have been clear, the executive has to look at this with a territorial approach and accompany the population so that the farmer who is a farmer can truly continue to develop this agriculture, but incorporating technology, incorporating the whole productive process as it should be, and above all, guaranteeing agro-industry, agro-export. But for this, for example, it is very important, as we have always said, that the province of Islay must have water. They have been demanding it for 50 years, and they have it. That is part of what we have also pointed out to the executive, so that once and for all, the support becomes a reality, and we continue advancing, because with the technology that we have, there is no other way to guarantee the water supply in Islay. With the technology we now have, no economic activity is exclusive, but rather we have to look for convergence and advance in the bet on the significance of all these activities that are very important for the development of the region, for the development of the country.
Governor Rohel Sanchez, thank you very much for being present in the course of Minero.
No, thank you very much.
Well, certainly very interesting interviews to understand, in summary, what has been this PDAC, the thoughts of these people who are so important for the mining sector, and give us an idea of the importance of the mining events, both abroad and in the United States, nationally. Next, Gabriela Chicoma is going to talk to us about Expomina. Gabriela.
Thank you very much. Expomina Peru, the largest and most important mining event in Peru with 16 years of trajectory, do business with the mining sector of Peru and America. Expomina Peru from September 11th to 13th, 2024 at the Jockey Lima Exhibition Center. Portfolio of mining projects in Peru for more than $53 million and portfolio of mining projects in America for $450 million. Invest with the leaders, participate in Expomina Peru 2024. For more information, please visit our website www.expominaperu.com.
Well, we now connect for the American Mining Block with José Gonzales, international editor of our magazine, Rumbo Minero, to discuss the PDAC among other topics. Hello, Jose. How are you? Welcome. I would like to ask you about the conclusions of this very important PDAC at international level. More than 130 countries, government officials, mining companies, investors. Tell us a little bit about it.
According to PDAC Chairman Raymond Goldie, speaking to Canada's Investing News Network, critical minerals were the key theme at the conference this year, with mining project financing also having been a priority. We must keep in mind, he said, that many of our members, especially junior resource companies, are finding it very difficult to raise capital. For the time being, he has noted royalty companies and family offices are beginning to take the place where equity markets used to be.
As for critical minerals, as North America moves toward the energy transition, battery metals exploration has been the focus of this year's PDAC. In his annual keynote address on the outlook for commodities, Rio Tinto CEO Jakob Stolzholm emphasized the need to procure the metals needed to support the energy transition and the importance of sourcing them in secure and sustainable supply chains. Discussions during the event, on the other hand, have focused much attention on companies that have stepped up to meet the growing demand for critical minerals, establishing direct relationships, for example, with automobile and battery manufacturers to meet demand for lithium, graphite, and nickel. On the financing side, high inflation and a growing demand for capital have prompted discussion about what needs to be done to attract new capital into the mining sector, making it more investable. At a time when critical minerals are finding it difficult to attract financing despite their promising prospects. Looking to the future of PDAC, Goldie noted that under its strategic plan, the organization has three purposes: to provide its members with access to capital, access to land, and access to talent. I believe the future of PDAC will address all three of these key areas going forward, Goldie said. Both access to land and access to skilled people involve forming stronger relationships with indigenous peoples. They live there. They are our natural allies, so we want to work with them to realize the blessings we have in this part of the world. Blessings that we have in this part of the world.
Jose, on the other hand, last week before the National People's Congress of the People's Republic of China, Premier Li Qiang has announced a change in the economic development model aiming for 5% growth. Growth of 5% for the current year 2024 for a nation as large as we know and which has been affected by bankruptcies in both the real estate sector and municipal debt. Both in the real estate sector and municipal debt. How would this change of model or the vision that we could develop the best with you in any case affect the price of minerals? Regarding the price of minerals, what would happen in this field?
According to the New York Times, the official growth target of around 5% would seem difficult to achieve as the world's second largest economy faces headwinds, from a slowdown in consumption to weak investor confidence and a trade war with the West. On the one hand, pronouncements of a stimulus package from the state have been left out, with spending expected to remain at roughly the same level as last year. On the other hand, the growth target is in line with last year's, when the economy grew 5.2%, evidence that slow growth is a new norm in China. According to Chatham House, Beijing wants to end the previous economic model that focused on infrastructure and property by reshaping the economy. Xi Jinping is trying to move away from debt-driven sectors such as real estate and move towards strategically important industries, fostering high-quality development and new productive forces, including electric vehicles, climate technology, life sciences, artificial intelligence, with the government increasing spending on scientific and technological research by 10%. On the one hand, such initiatives may be negative for the prices of metals such as copper, for example, as housing construction continues to account for more than 40% of demand. However, to the extent that it is the state that promotes the development of electric vehicles and climate technology, the reduction in traditional demand will be compensated by that generated by electromobility. By that generated by electromobility and the energy transition,
Well, many thanks to José Gonzales for this communication from Wall Street, New York. I wanted to mention that these topics will also be covered in recent editions of Rumbo Minero. You can go to www.rumbominero.com to the website and you can download the magazine for free. If you want to be a supplier or are a supplier, you can also advertise in Rumbo Minero magazine. Cesar.
Momento, Jorge.
AMSAC Mining Assets Block. Activos Mineros. AMSAC is a Peruvian public company with a great purpose, to give life back to the planet. Thus, we are dedicated to contributing to the sustainable development of the country through mining environmental remediation. In AMSAC, we recover the areas affected by high and very high risk mining liabilities that are in a situation of abandonment or in which the state has not identified those responsible. In this line of work, today we are present in 11 regions of Peru, with a portfolio of 65 remediation projects, which are located in different phases. Promotion of private investment. In AMSAC, we represent the Peruvian state as counterpart of the transfer contracts of important mining projects, and we also supervise the fulfillment of the commitments and obligations that are part of such processes. Today, we are leaders in business management systems. Among the 35 companies of the FONAFE Corporation, we have ISO 9001 certifications in quality management, ISO 14001 in environmental management, ISO 37001 in anti-bribery management, and ISO 45001 in occupational health and safety management. At AMSAC, sustainability and care for the planet are our DNA, and that is why we are proud to contribute to creating a better world through the recovery of air, water, soil, and ecosystems impacted by mining liabilities. In this way, we contribute to 10 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals by the year 2030. Giving life back to the planet is more than a simple phrase for us. It is the guide of our daily actions, with which we positively impact the lives of thousands of Peruvians, and through them, our country.
Continuing with the interviews conducted at the PDAC in Toronto, Canada, 2024. We are going to present this block where we will listen to Henry Luna, Vice Minister of Mines, also Domingo Drago, President of the Mining Sector Committee of the National Society of Mining, Petroleum and Energy, to Luis Rivera, GoldFields Executive Vice President for the Americas, and Pablo de la Flor, Corporate Affairs Manager of Minera Poderosa. Go ahead.
Continuing with our coverage here at the PDAC of the year 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 of the year. This time I meet with Engineer Henry Luna, Vice Minister of Mines. Engineer, what are your thoughts on Peru's participation here at PDAC 2024?
Well, I believe that once again Peru continues to shine in this international event, where it also participates as a sponsor of PDAC of the PDAC of the year of the year of the year of Peru. As the only sponsor, therefore, I believe that the world continues to look at Peru with great satisfaction, not only for its mining potential. We have heard this morning that there are many attributes related to the legislation as well, which allow investors to continue looking at Peru. And I believe that we have been having continuous meetings with different investors of mining projects in different stages during 2 days. Some are in exploration, other projects are under construction, and even projects in initial stages. This also shows that we are open to listen to the problems of all investors in order to speed up their processes.
You have already held meetings, as you and Mr. Rómulo tell me, meetings with representatives of foreign investors who want to come to Peru. What do they most ask for or request in order to invest in our country?
Well, most of them know the geological potential that Peru has. They also know the procedures, but what they ask of us is to try to simplify processes And we have also come to announce here in Canada that we have already developed a single digital window that in its first stage already allows to see in a single portal the processes required to explore, to exploit, for beneficiation plants, for expansions in exploitation, and for expansions in beneficiation.
Mr. Luna, in terms of time, how much would this reduce the paperwork? How much time would be reduced with this single digital window?
Well, normally the investors themselves mention that most of their procedures have been exceeding the normal procedures that used to take a year or 2 years to complete, and now they take 4 or 5 years. So our goal is to reduce it to 1 year or less in all the corresponding procedures for the different stages of the mining projects.
Mr. Luna, thank you very much for being, as always, in Rumbo Minero. In this opportunity, we met with Domingo Drago, President of the Mining Sector Committee of the National Society of Mining, Petroleum and Energy. What are your thoughts on what was said here at PDAC Peru Day?
Well, very interesting. Very interesting to see the interest of investors to be present in Peru. The room was completely full, and very interesting to see the potential we have as a country. We play in the big leagues, and this is reflected in all the presentations made by the President of the Central Reserve NGO, the Minister of Mining, where you can see the portfolio of projects, the exploration potential, and the interest of investors in the country. I think it is a juncture that we have to take advantage of, being also in the middle of an energy transition.
One of the announcements made by Mr. Rómulo has been to promote and move forward with projects such as Tia Maria and Conga. Do you see this as feasible in the short, medium, or long term, or is it not going to be possible to do so? Well,
I believe that we have to push all the projects in general, not any one in particular. We have a very large portfolio. But yes, without a doubt, we must move forward with the projects that already have a more mature degree of permits, more advanced. And we should not place, let's say, restrictions on investment, as long as they comply with all the environmental, social, and permitting requirements. It seems to me that this is a moment of opportunity that we have to push all projects. Peru needs investment, we need more jobs, and we need to reverse the recession and boost growth.
Perfect, Domingo. Thank you very much for being, as always, your good disposition with Rumbo Minero. This time we met with Luis Rivera, Executive Vice President for the Americas. Tell us a little about your reflections and conclusions about the Peruvian delegation's participation in PDAC 2024.
Well, first of all, the presentations. The presentations confirm that metals, copper, gold, silver, and strategic metals such as lithium, rare earths, are the key to the development of mankind. And therefore, they are going to be super necessary in any economy. And what it also confirms is that Peru continues to be one of the most attractive coalitions in the world in mining issues. The delegation has been very active. It has confirmed that in Peru, there is a perfect ecosystem for mining. All the components of the mining cycle are present in Peru. And above all, there is a very important resource that Peru also has in terms of geological resources. It is the human resource, and that is in Peru. The ecosystem is there, and we believe that this is the moment to ride that wave of mineral needs that the world needs.
Luis, the issue of Tia Maria, a subject that has been discussed a lot in recent weeks, do you consider it viable in the short, medium, or long term, in your opinion?
Yes, I think that, and I do that on a very personal level as a Peruvian. In the first place, it is a project that Peru needs. Secondly, it is a project that is proven to have no greater environmental impact than any other industrial activity has. And I am not talking about mining. Any industrial activity has. And third, it would be a powerful message to the world to demonstrate and move forward with a project like Tia Maria. It is an icon, and therefore we must all work to make it go ahead.
Finally, Luis, there is also an important event coming up this year, Expomina, of which you are president and which will also take place within the framework of an important meeting such as APEC, where ministers of mines from other countries will also be attending. What are your expectations for Expomina this year?
Well, we want to surpass, first of all, the Expomina of the previous event 2 years ago. We have more than 200 exhibitors. We have managed to engage the North American Embassy as a strategic partner. And thirdly, we are doing it within the APEC Forum. So we are going to be able to put the country back on the podium where it belongs as a necessary economy for the world, because we have the minerals that the world needs and a reliable economy for investors.
Perfect, Luis. Thank you very much for being in Rumbo Minero. Pablo, how are you? Welcome to Rumbo Minero.
Thank you very much. Very nice to greet you.
Pablo, what are your reflections and conclusions from your participation here at PDAC 2024?
Look, the truth is that I am quite enthusiastic about what we have gathered in terms of perceptions about Peru, in spite of the obvious problems we have had in terms of political instability and some setbacks in terms of growth. There is a very positive reading about the opportunities that the country offers. So I am very satisfied and very enthusiastic with this reading about the country and the possibilities for the development of mining in Peru.
Pablo, I cannot help but ask you about the current situation of Minera Poderosa. Well, we all know about the unfortunate events in which you have been victims, with deaths of workers and constant attacks. How is the current situation of Minera Poderosa?
Fortunately, the situation is much calmer. What we have seen, especially in the last few weeks, is an important mobilization of the forces of law and order, which has had a dissuasive effect with regard to this terrible deterrent effect on this terrible problem of criminality in the area. And of course, what has happened is that the events that affected us have dramatically made visible the terrible threat that illegal mining represents for the development of the country. Let us hope that from this watershed, actions can be taken to eliminate this terrible scourge that the country has been suffering from.
Pablo, thank you very much for being with Rumbo Minero.
We reiterate a very interesting and very appropriate vision of these personalities from the mining world about what is happening in the country. Of the mining world about the PDAC. Toronto, Canada 2024. Now we give Gabriela Chicoma with important information from Expo Mina.
Thank you very much, Expo Mina Peru, the largest and most important mining event of 2024, with 16 years of trajectory with the special participation of the United States as guest mining country. Expo Mina Peru is the only Peruvian event certified by the United States Department of Commerce. Do not be left out and be part of this great mining event. Reserve your stand at Expo Mina Peru. For more information, visit our website www.expominaperu.com.
Next, we are going to present the block of mining suppliers.
In Rumbo Minero TV, we are going to present the block of suppliers of the mining sector.
Well, we now meet Jorge Angulo, Head of Technical Service of Mauricio Hochschild Engineering and Services, Peru branch. Welcome to Rumbo Minero.
Thank you very much.
Jorge, how many years have you been working in the sector, and what is the portfolio of products or services provided by Mauricio Hochschild?
Yes, of course we have. Let's see. Mauricio Hochschild Engineering and Services provides more than 112 years of service to the mining sector and operating here in Peru for more than 17. Initially, in its beginnings, it was focused on the mining sector through the commercialization and export of minerals, then with machinery, and also with supplies for the mining work as such. Later on, as time went by, the company acquired or was focused on the industrial sector through internationally prestigious brands that have allowed it to have the backing and guarantee in the delivery of its products, and also in the high quality and also in high quality solutions.
Jorge, tell us how technology and innovation have evolved in the products and services you offer. Within the products and services you offer.
Well, quickly, for the portfolio that the company has, which are internal combustion engines, pumping systems, fluid handling, generation systems, technical service, compressors. Mauricio Hochschild is constantly in vogue and hand in hand with technology. For example, they are currently working on the issue of remote monitoring and measurement or telemetry, which allows them to have a better follow-up with the customer in real time, remotely, of their machinery. This will allow you in some way to have a better follow-up, a better control, and with that to be able to prepare a contingency plan for attention and to avoid unexpected stops.
Finally, tell us about this post-sales work, this work you do hand in hand with the customer.
Well, at Mauricio Hochschild, the after-sales staff is prepared to attend to all the customer's requirements. What do you do with it? They have the trained personnel, they have the tools, they have the computer systems at hand. They have a fully equipped workshop to attend all their products, which will allow them to give constant support to the customer. In addition to this, there is also the commercial and technical support, which is permanent. And what it does over time is to develop the best customer service channels, either through telephone, WhatsApp, email, and with this maintain a constant attention of the equipment remotely, both in Lima and nationally, and in the same area of operation.
Excellent. Thank you very much for being in Rumbo Minero. Very clear description of what Mauricio Hochschild is doing. And look forward to another opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Well, we were with Jorge Angulo, the head of technical service of Mauricio Hochschild Engineering and Services Peru branch. Now we have an important announcement. Please go ahead.
We are a global company with over 40 years of experience specializing in the design, manufacture, and contracting services of all raise boring products for the mining, hydroelectric, and civil engineering sectors. Our products are exported to different destinations around the world. To me, raise boring.
In our second interview to the suppliers block, we have the great pleasure to introduce Giovanna Tito, who is the manager of MS4M, an important company that provides its services to the mining sector. Welcome, Giovanna, to our program, Rumbo Minero.
Nice to meet you.
Well, Giovanna, tell us how many years MS4M has been working with the mining sector, and what is the portfolio of products and services provided by the company?
Well, MS4M was founded in 2013. We have more than 10 years in the market. Our products are wide. We work mainly in the processes of mine operations, maintenance, and also provide products for safety.
Now, how has technology and innovation evolved? Tell us a little about this topic.
Yes, actually, look, within the products that we developed, well, they appear more, or the 90s of this date, where only equipment was located, and at the moment today, where we practically use sensors to obtain information, optimize, and make mining operations more efficient, safe, and sustainable. The great challenge of innovation is just that, to be on par with safety and sustainability. And efficiency in mining.
We also apply artificial intelligence.
We use all the technologies that are available. Technology advances too fast, so it has to go, the products are developed with the technology and they are updated. Today we are using artificial intelligence. We work with sensor integrations. We develop our own hardware and software. We are not one of the companies in Peru that develops its own hardware, precisely focused on robustness for the mining sector.
Interesting. Finally, Giovanna, tell us a little bit about how you do the post-sales work of customer follow-up.
Well, we develop a very specific strategy for each mining customer. We are miners and we understand the needs of the mining industry. So we develop a specific strategy for each customer depending on the size of their fleet, the type of operation they have.
Giovanna, congratulations then for this important performance that has MS4M in the mining sector. We will have you in a future opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Giovanna Tito, representative manager of MS4M, was with us here at Rumbo Minero.
Well, coming to the end of the program, Cesar, I think that these interviews have elucidated the importance of the PDAC, an event in Toronto, Canada, which we lead with the Canada-Peru Chamber of Commerce every year. More than 300 businessmen are going to lead this Peruvian delegation. And the truth is that I believe that the task has been accomplished because in any case, Peru has once again been able to present its geological issues, its improvements and we have to keep working. We have to keep working because we need much more investment. Let's remember the port of Chancay and all the things that are going to come. And I believe that mining should not lower its guard and we should make things easier for mining. As well as this event, there are events like the one that is coming, our event, Expo Mina, in September, which is also a very important event for the mining sector since many people from abroad will be participating. A lot of people from abroad. And there will be a great demand for information. More than 120 talks, which is also very important. All of this is available at www.expominaperu.com.
The important thing is what you pointed out when you opened the program. The attractiveness of the vision of Peru is maintained, and due to the circumstances, especially the performance of the governments, isn't it? In the region of Colombia, Chile, which are once again turning the vision towards our country, I think we must always emphasize that.
Opportunities to be seized.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for being with us. My name is Jorge Leon Benavides, and together with Cesar Campos, we have developed this program, Rumbo Minero. Don't forget, in a few minutes, Peru Construye is coming. Thank you very much.